Wolves 1, Man United 2. Big win, professional win. A lot of changes, 10 changes made, rolling into the Europa League final with a little bit of optimism now, or a bit more optimism. Nice little win. Some players who haven't played a lot of football, some youngsters getting some minutes. If I look a bit startled, it's because I've just come off the back of a fan cam with Ricky, which was really interesting to say the least. Really interesting to say the least. But how did you see today's game, man? A lot to talk about.
It was one of them games where I went into it and I thought it'd be really nice to get a win on the last game of the season. It'd be nice, obviously, it might be Matt's final game. It'd be nice for him to get a win for that sense, builds momentum going into the Europa League final. But at the end of the day, you look at that team and you think it's Nuno Santos' last game and the Wolves fans are back in. They give us a hard time, like I didn't expect any different from the Wolves fans because I've been in Old Trafford a lot of time when Wolves are there, and that's just what they're like. But it was really nice to obviously have the fans in the ground, and I expected it to be an edgy game, which it was. I think we got a little bit lucky in some parts, but overall I think we controlled the game really well, and I think some of the players in the team today are knocking on the door from the performance. Honestly, we've seen the second team play a few times now this season, and I think that's the best that they've started to play. And I see a few players in that team that could have been used more this season for my liking. For example, Donny van der Beek, Ahmad, Elanga even. I'm glad he's starting to get a chance. His potential looks massive. And I thought Matt had a good game as well, as he's one of his final games. You can tell his turn of pace isn't there still, but he's still always going to have that technical ability. And do you know what? I thought the back four did all right together as well. It's going to be a slow pace game against Wolves. It's not going to be the same as a high pace Leicester getting on your backs all the time. So you've got to take that into consideration. But all in all, for United's second team and 4 teenagers played today, to go out there and beat an experienced Wolves side with a good manager, I think it's credit where credit's due. They did really well today.
It did. Just on Donny van der Beek, we're going to talk about some individuals. On Donny, I mean, a lot of people saying how well he played today. He played in a deeper line too, played alongside Matic. Is there an argument that Matic and van der Beek are better than Fred and McTominay?
I tweeted this out earlier, actually.
Oh, did you?
Honestly, from what I can see, they both have different attributes. Fred and McTominay are needed for a fast-paced game where people are going to be on your backs a lot of the time and you're going to be needed to be getting around the pitch a lot. Matic, I think his legs are too far gone for that. Matic a few years ago, absolutely, 100%. But in games like today, when it was a bit of a slower pace, there's no doubt about it. Matic and Donny van der Beek have the technical ability 10 times the level of Fred and McTominay do. Fred and McTominay struggle to pass the ball out of the midfield. They don't have good touches. Did you see the way that Matic and Donny were kind of controlling the ball today, moving into space? They are better footballers than Fred and McTominay, in my opinion. And from what I saw today, Matic did a good job, but his legs are going. He can't last 90 minutes, really, for a Premier League season. He's probably going to be on his way out today. But Donny van der Beek in that holding midfield role today really showed what he can do in that role. And do you know what? I think if you get a faster pace CDM in next to him, he could boss that role. He's a right-sided box-to-box player, in my opinion. I don't think he's a 10. I don't think he's a left winger. I don't think he's a right-sided midfielder. He's a right-sided box-to-box player, playing the ball, making them runs, doing them little dummies, passing it round players. That's what he's good at. He's good at controlling the tempo and getting players to move into space. And I thought he did it perfectly today. He had a proper good performance in that role. And guess what? It's because he's played it quite a few times now. Not enough to kind of get a grasp on that role. But if that's the level of performance he's putting in now, in that role for Manchester United, imagine if he had a crack at it over the course of a season. I think, honestly, I do think there's a player in there to play in that role. I think that could be his future position at Manchester United. I don't see him ever getting in the 10 position, and I don't see him getting into a forward position over Pogba, Rashford, Greenwood. It's just not going to happen. He's not the attacking force that Manchester United's team suit up front. But in that holding midfield role, controlling the ball, his technical ability, his quick movement of it gives the back four more reassurance. They can pass it out to him and know that he's got the ball under control. And with someone like a younger version of Matic beside him, I honestly think that could really work as a midfield pivot. Then you've got, if Pogba leaves, which Fabrizio Romano said that could be happening. I watched Mark's interview with him. Then you buy like a Grealish or something to replace him. Or if Pogba stays, you've got Pogba to play in a more attacking role. Rashford's competing there as well. You've got Greenwood, Cavani to play Ahmad on the other side of things. I think that gives a good balance to the team. And Donny van der Beek playing in with Bruno bringing the ball out next to someone really good. This is why I think we need to buy CDM, which we're not planning to do. I think that would take the midfield up levels. I honestly do. And he's not even small either. He's like 6 foot.
Yeah, it's like a perception that he's little, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not. But I think he had a really impressive game today. And I think it proved a lot of people that that could be one of his strongest positions for our team. People suit different roles in different teams. For example, in Ajax, he probably would be more of a forwards player because they play a different style of football to us. We don't play one-touch tiki-taka football. We just don't. That's not our style, and it's not going to be our style under Ollie. So if he's going to adapt and stay at Manchester United, I think that is the position that he needs to be going in to fight for. And I think with the right coaching, he could be trained up and play that position really well. I hope it doesn't go to waste because I know there was talks of him possibly moving on as well. But I really like him, a really intelligent footballer that can dictate the game from that position, and that's what we've been asking for.
Another player who's received a lot of praise today is Ahmad. I thought he had a really good game as well. Yeah. Showed a lot of maturity on the ball. What did you make of him? And there's talks of Jadon Sancho coming in on the right wing. There was, we're always discussing just where Ahmad is at and what type of season he's going to have next season. Did he excite you?
Yeah, I think for his first season in the Manchester United shirt, he's not
half a season.
Yeah. He's not got as many games as I would have liked. He's not got as many minutes as I would have liked. But over the last month or so, 2 months, you've seen him coming in and playing more minutes here and there. And he got a proper good run at it today. He should have had an assist for a start. Dan James, God, that miss, honestly. I think even Dean Henderson would have scored that one. But he should have had an assist. His touches, his technical ability, and he's quite an intelligent player. He can see when there's going to be a counter-attack on and he will get back. I've seen that from him quite a lot. And I think
his positioning is good.
The way he passes the ball, his positioning, like you said, he's got all the right attributes. And I think he's definitely got potential to go up. I think if he's playing in the first team with a few more, like with Bruno Fernandes type player, I think you see a lot more from him. Personally, I think that kind of brings him on a little bit more. But in this team today, I thought his touches were great. I thought his positioning were great. And he should have had an assist. I think the only thing that he could possibly work on is maybe bulking up a little bit more because obviously the Premier League, it is physical. And to be fair, I've not seen him be shoved off the ball that much. But we know obviously Gomez didn't make it because of his kind of physicality. And you kind of want to get that into Ahmad early on. If such a talented player, kind of build up your physicality, like kind of Mason Greenwood did as well. He's done that. And do you know what? I think he could definitely get a lot more minutes next season. I don't think you'll be seeing him on the starting lineup at the start of next season, but I think you'll definitely see him kind of become more of a 60-minute sub now the likes of Mata and Matic are moving on, rather than sometimes not even making the squad, which is a good step up for someone who we've bought for the future. I think next season it'll be about embedding him into the team a lot more. And possibly, depending on how he performs next season, the season after is when you really start seeing him being an important player for us. That's what I'd like to see from a player like Ahmad, who we've brought in because of his talent. I mean, the touches he was taking and the touches I've seen, the way I've seen him bring the ball down.
Looks neat, isn't it? Looks composed
really like
on the ball.
European type of, when you see like the Barcelona team play or the Spanish teams play, he kind of touches the ball like that. And I like that in a player because sometimes with English players, they can kind of have that heavy touch and they've not got that close technical ability, but he seems to have that.
Yeah, he does. To the other end of the pitch, this is a really interesting one now because I know Ollie's trying to give Harry Maguire as much time as possible, but let's face it, like he ain't playing. Which leaves the question. I mean, Lindelof obviously didn't play today because he's going to start the final. It was Bailly and Tuanzebe today, and just in general, who are you trying to see start alongside Lindelof, Tuanzebe or Bailly?
Tuanzebe for me. And the reason behind that is because, plain and simply, he's a better left-sided centre-back, and that's the position that Harry Maguire takes up for us. Lindelof's going to play on the right. We know that for a fact. He was rested today. He's the most experienced one. And we saw when Bailly and Lindelof were played together that Lindelof got moved to the left and he didn't look good in that position. So Lindelof's going to be playing on the right and Axel has been playing on the left. And today, I thought he did a good job again. The blocks he was making, calm and composed as well. Eric Bailly, great defender, but there's always a risk with him. And when you're in a Europa League final, you've not seen it for a while, but we really don't want that rash penalty or that rash challenge that's going to kind of, it can throw you under the bus in times like that. Tuanzebe seems a lot more calm and composed, and I think he's really put in a challenge to start in the Europa League final. Who would have thought that? But you know what? Sometimes injuries happen, and you come into the team and you get given a chance. And if you show that you can improve the team and make that difference, you'll get into the starting lineup. And if I was Solskjaer picking based off the last week's performances, I would pick Lindelof and Tuanzebe as my centre-halves. Lindelof's got the experience, he's played all season. Tuanzebe's a better left-sided centre-back, calm and composed on the ball, which I think we know that's what Solskjaer likes, hence why he plays Maguire and Lindelof quite a lot of the time. And he's a very good defender, honestly. Every time I see him, he sometimes makes... How do I describe it? Sometimes I think I get a little bit nervous sometimes just because he's younger and he's not played in many games. But then I'll get nervous and he'll make the right decision. He'll stay calm and composed. And that's what I like about him. You think that something's going to go wrong and then Tuanzebe's there to clean it up. And I thought he had a good game today and really basically said to Ollie that he needs to play in the Europa League final in that left-sided centre-half position.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you make. Well. I think, yeah, great pace, along with Eric Bailly as well with the pace. But that more so the point you make about him playing as a left-sided centre-back, and naturally that will fit with the Lindelof situation. I think Eric Bailly is not a natural left centre-half.
Eric Bailly's going to be, honestly, if he's not going to get picked, I don't think, and you just be there like, oh my God, I've just signed a new contract and I can't even
well, do you know what? I think it's interesting because I don't know, I've got this feeling that Ollie's bricking it right now because I think, yes, obviously we have a confidence in our team, but he's without Harry Maguire. But I also think that he won't want to push the boat out too far and take too many risks, which is why I think McFRED will definitely start, which is why I think David De Gea will surely start, and also, which is why I think that he would probably go with Bailly. I hope he doesn't, but I think because of the experience, Bailly's just an older player, more experienced. I think he would just go with that for the experience out of being same reason why I think he'll drop Greenwood to the bench and play Rashford for the experience. I can just see it.
I think that'd be a mistake. I think I just saw he's not against Bailly. I saw Lindelof on the left side the other night, and it didn't look good.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable, did he?
I really would be worried going into a game with them playing that kind of that pairing in that style. I really would be. I just think Axel on the left is so much more calm, composed, and I think he's just better in general on that left side. I do agree with you. I think Ollie plays it safe a lot of the time. And if I was Ollie, I wouldn't start Rashford, as mad as that seems, because I don't think his form's been good enough. I think Greenwood's been way better than him over the last few weeks, and Pogba's been better than him. So, and you've got to play Cavani, so he doesn't get in that team for me. But because of Ollie's kind of safeness and stubbornness in certain areas, and this has got kind of get criticised sometimes in his managerial roles, is he does stick to certain players a lot, even when the form goes down. And that is, I agree with you. I think Rashford will start, and I think Greenwood will be dropped, and I think McFRED will play. I'm not too against McFRED playing because that's been the way we've played all season, and we've not seen obviously this new pairing in a while. I think Matic and Fred is, I've not liked to see that when I've seen it as well, so I wouldn't be against it. But there's just other possibilities that if we would have explored a little bit more over the season, give players more minutes, we could have figured out these things like Donny and Matic playing in that pivot role. We've only seen that today, over the last few weeks. Why haven't we seen that more? Ahmad's technical abilities, we've only seen that over the last few weeks. I mean, let's be honest, our first team aren't exactly absolutely way ahead than some of these players. So I just do think next season that's something Ollie really does need to improve on. He needs to give some players more minutes and rotate the squad. But I don't know, we might get a few first team signings this summer from what he's been saying. But
yeah, he says we need him. He says we need him, yeah. To finish off, who was your man of the match?
Man of the match for me would be, do you know what? It'd probably be Donny van de Beek or one of the two. I think both of them played really well. But I'll probably give it Van de Beek just because I think he really did well in that role today, which he's apparently doesn't play. So
yeah, cool. All right.
I mean, I'm sure Rick said his was Dan James.
No, he didn't actually, but you'll have to watch to find out. No comment.
Matter then, yeah.
No comment. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. But he said some very interesting things. Roll on to the final, and let's bring this trophy home, man.
God, I hope so.
Peace.